I'm recording. All right, guys. Fan 5. We got it pre-recorded today. We'll do some live Zooming, but I wanted to go ahead and record this video because look, the way I kind of see Fan 5, we talked about this in class yesterday. The person who is in control of this score going up, down, whatever it happens to be, that person is you. Because y'all know you have the ability to take notes, you got the ability to ask questions, pay attention, participate, all that stuff matters so much. So I kind of like the idea of having this recorded because this shows me, hey, you went and used your own time, you found the time to not only do the Fantastic Five, but watch this video from start to finish. I'm talking from the second you press play to the second this video ends. If you're taking the time to do that, that shows me, hey, this person wants their score to get better. Ultimately, I do know that I'd say maybe half of you are going to do that. And you know what, guys? It is what it is. The only day that really matters is tomorrow. And I think watching this video and getting this little bit of extra practice could make a difference because it's a quiz grade. And, you know, that stuff makes a difference, guys. So I won't spend as long going over this as we have in class the first couple days just because you know, once you see it a couple times, it kind of just gets a little bit easier for you. So let me move some of this mess out of the way. And we're going to get right into it here. Let's see. All right, guys, number one, 66 kids are heading to the ice skating rink. They are traveling in cars that fit 4 kids each. How many cars will be full? A little bit different today. Because instead of saying, hey, I need to get every single kid to the skating rink, I just want to know how many of these cars are going to be full. If you've been paying attention to these interpreting remainder questions, that word should instantly tell you where to find your answer. But we're going to do this work. Now, you see each. Could think multiply, could think divide. Look at all your answer choices. They're getting smaller. I think at this point, we're kind of good with what operation we need to use and when to use it. So we're going to take 66, we're going to divide it by 4. Dangerous monkey, swipe bananas. We can do this long division with our eyes closed now. So we know that 4 goes into 6 once. And if I multiply 4 times that 1, I get 4. Subtract 6 minus 4, I get 2. Bring down the 6, and I keep it moving, right? All right, start over. Division. How many times can 4 go into 26? If you know your facts, you know that goes in 6 times. And when you multiply 4 times that 6, you get 24. And when you subtract 26 minus 24, move this out of my way. I know y'all can't see this, but I got a big bar in my way. That gives you 2. Nothing to bring down. That way I know I'm finished. That gives me 16 remainder 2. So y'all, first of all, 16 remainder 2 is not an answer choice. But it doesn't matter because you know there is no such thing as 16 remainder 2 vans or cars, or whatever it is that they're traveling in. It's not a real thing. You have to interpret your remainder. There's 3 possible answer choices here. You could have 16 vans that are full if you ignore the remainder, 17 vans that are full if you push up, or 2 vans that are full if the remainder is your answer. That automatically means 13, D, is gone. It's not a possibility. Now, realistically, guys, logically, you could go ahead and get rid of 2 as well. Because, guys, if you're telling me 2 vans are full and there's 4 kids in each of those vans, that's 8 people. Y'all, you can fill way more vans than 2. So that one's got to go. So now I'm sitting here and thinking, well, I'm either going to have 16 full vans with 8 kids. With 4 kids in each, or I'm going to have 17 full vans with 4 kids in each. So we can check that by doing a little bit of work. So let me clear out some space here. Let's start with 16 times 4. If I do 16 times 4, that would give me 64 kids. If I did 17 times 4, which I got to move this stuff out of my way. Goodness gracious, Mr. Huber, get it together, dude. If I did 17 times 4, that would give me 68 kids. Here is where you must use your head, logic. Think about what this is saying. If you're telling me that there are 17 full vans That means you're saying that's 68 kids. It's impossible, guys. You cannot fill 17 vans with only 66 people. It's just not possible. You would need two more. We can't just grab two kids off the street. Now, the reason why it's okay to have a little bit less with the 16 vans, because 16 times 4, if I had 16 full vans, that only gets me 64 kids. But this question is different because I'm not trying to figure out how many vans I need to get everybody there. I just want to know what's full. If I wanted to know the total number of vans, then yes, my question or my answer would be 17. But if we're talking full vans, y'all, I can only fill 16 of them. And that goes back to our original answer when we did that long division and we got 16 remainder 2. As soon as you saw full, you should have known that was the answer. That number will always represent whatever we are talking about that is completely filled. I have 16 full vans, and then I would have 2 kids left behind. Obviously, I would pick another car up and get them in there, but that's not what the question was asking. So I'm willing to bet a bunch of money. The people who missed this today are going to choose B because they're going to solve it the same way that they've been solving it the past couple of days, but this one's asking a different question. And I tossed that in there for a reason because on our fraction test, we made so many reading mistakes. So we got to start like really cracking down on that and trying to do a little bit better. So for that one, we would have had A, 16 full vans because, again, a little bit of a different question than it was yesterday. All right, question number 2. We've said this all week. This one requires the most work. When you're going against the clock, you might want to do this one last just because it takes the longest, to me at least. It says Randy has 25 cartons of eggs at his restaurant. Each carton has 6 eggs inside. If he uses 5 eggs for each omelet, how many omelets will he be able to make? So read a little, do a little. When I see cartons of, just like boxes of, groups of, rows of, in my head, I kind of got a little multiplication light bulb going off. Now, it's not guaranteed that I'm going to multiply, but I feel pretty good about it. Because in my head, I can see 25 cartons or 25 boxes. And in my next sentence, it says each carton has 6 eggs inside. So I can see my 25 boxes, 6, 6, 6, 6, 6, 6, 6. I'm making that visual in my head that makes me realize, all right, I got to do 25 times 6 here. Now, this is a little bit easier than the 2 by 2 multiplication we've been doing because it's just 2 by 1. 6 times 5 gives me 30. 0 stays, 3 goes. 6 times 2 is 12, plus 3 is 15. Now, that's 150, which is an answer choice. But y'all, you better not pick that as an answer without even reading what the actual question is. What that 150 is telling me, though, is how many eggs I have. All right, so I've got 150 eggs. And again, I'm not going to choose that as my answer choice because it just wouldn't make sense to go ahead and choose an answer. So read a little, do a little. Again, if he uses 5 eggs for each omelet, how many omelets will he be able to make? So again, each. I could be doing 150 times 5. I could be doing 150 divided by 5. Guys, look at your answer choices. Okay, that leads me down the path to, hey, I need to be doing some division here. So equal groups of 5 for each omelet. And then I just do my long division, which again, we just did for number 1. So 5 can't go into 1, but it can go into 15 3 times. Bang. Multiply 5 times that 3, I get 15. 15 minus 15 is 0. Y'all, 0 is a number. It has not been used, so I need to bring it down. I bring down my 0 and I start over. I don't stop until I can't bring a number down, and I just did. Back to the top. How many times can 5 go into 0? It goes in 0 times. Boom. 5 times that 0 is 0. 0 minus 0 is 0. Now I'm done because I have nothing to bring down. That leaves me with my answer at the top, which is 30. And I could check that by saying, well, let me take 30 omelets, 5 eggs apiece, and it should match how many eggs you had to start, which is 150. That's why that one would be C. So it's been a 2-step problem all week. It's been a question you got to chunk and break apart. You got to make a visual in your head. A lot of different things you got to do there. And I think that was the only one. Well, in the morning crew, all 5 went up. That was the only one in the afternoon that went backwards. And it's tricky, so I get that. All right, this should be kind of where we start picking up some steam and we start seeing some really strong numbers. So let me get number 3 pulled up here. All right, guys. So again, number 3, we're adding mixed numbers here. You got 3 and 5/10 plus 6 and 3/10. At this point, you know where to start. Whole numbers first. We go 3 plus 6, we get 9. Add your fractions together. Denominator's still going to be tenths, but you add your numerators, 5 plus 3, you get 8. And y'all, I told you this was coming. It's been rainbows and butterflies where we got our answer and boom, it's an answer choice. It's not. Don't just look at C and say, ooh, that looks close to me. Don't do that. Guys, you know you can either take that fraction and simplify it, or you can take that answer, that fraction, and cross multiply it with the other fractions. I just like to simplify. Now, the 9 is going to stay the same. I'm not doing anything with that. But guys, if I take 8/10, list my factors, find my GCF, I can simplify that. Now, I'm pretty quick with this because of how well I know my multiplication, and most of you guys are the same way. But once I list my factors for both numbers, numerator and denominator, I see my GCF is 2. Obviously, then I'm going to divide my numerator and my denominator by my GCF. And guys, when I simplify that fraction, again, my 9 stays the same, but 8 divided by 2 gives me 4. 10 divided by 2 gives me 5. That answer would be B, 9 4/5. Don't panic. Don't choose the one that looks close. And please don't guess. Do that little bit of extra work, guys, and you'll get it every time. Now, if you do that and you still don't see your answer, you probably made a mistake somewhere. Start fresh. Try it again. But that one, I think every single person should be getting right. If not today, at least tomorrow. Fingers crossed on that. What just happened? We're back. All right, moving on to number 4. Before I do that, I'm going to do something crazy here. Right now, if you are watching this video, I want you to stop what you're doing. I want you to open up your email, and I want you to send me something. I want you to say, it has to be exactly this, so follow directions. You need to email me and say, Mr. Huber, I watched the video, hook me up. Let me say that one more time. Mr. Huber, I watched the video, hook me up. If you can do that for me, I will give you either a ton of points to start your EOG Friday or a ton of points to start our family game night on Zoom Friday night. I'll let you decide, but don't tell your classmates about this. I want to see how many people are actually watching this video. If you can send me that email, like I said, I will hook you up with some points and put you in a good spot to win. All right, back to it. Number 4. Why can I not get this off my screen? There we go. All right, here we go. Number 4. It says there are 4 boys at the basketball game. There are 16 times as many girls as there are boys at the game. How many people are there total? This is about as big as a box method question as we have ever done. I've told you in the past, you don't have to do the box method. You can do a chart because I've got boys, I've got girls. I know for a fact there's 4 boys here. I can fill that in. Guys, and then it says there are 16 times as many girls as boys. To figure that out, I got to take that 16 and multiply it times however many boys there are, and that's 4. Now, do you know that off the top of your head? Probably not, but you know how to do this. Now, once I do that multiplication, 6 times 4 is 24. 4 stays, 1 goes, or 2 goes, I'm sorry. 4 times 1 is 4 plus 2 gives me 6. Here's what's a bummer. Some people are going to do all that work. They're going to choose B, and they're going to keep it moving, and those people deserve to miss this question because they did not read. How many people are there total? Y'all, if there's 64 girls and there's 4 boys, if I add those together, my answer is going to be C, 68. I guarantee you, just like question number, I think it was 1, people are going to choose B. They're going to keep it moving, and they're going to feel real good about it. If you don't take your time on this question, you're going to miss it. So I'm very anxious to see how we do on number 4. Man, because that's going to tell me a lot. It's going to tell me a lot. All right, last but not least, number 5, guys. I told you this yesterday. If you know this, if you know your facts, this was not hard. You know your vocab. You know a prime number, 2 factors. That's it. 1 in itself. And you know a composite number has more than 2 factors. So you got to be able to look at these numbers, say, ooh, I know something I can multiply to get that. Or think about some of the tips and tricks we've talked about, and you should be fine. The answer is D, because 17 and 19 are prime. You can only do 17 times 1, 19 times 1. Now look, 868 and then 434. Obviously, you know you can do that number times itself to get 2 factors. It's an even number. You don't even have to know what the other factor is. You can just know 2 times something is going to give me both of those numbers because they're even, which automatically make them composite. That does not mean every even number is composite, because you know the number 2 is prime and everything else would be composite. And then just because a number is odd, we still got people who are saying, ooh, it's an odd number, prime. That's not the case, y'all. It's not the case. On here, I don't have any examples I don't see, but like 27, that's a composite number. 33, that's a composite number. 15 is a composite number. Odd and even doesn't always make a difference. Now, with the even numbers, though, as long as it's not 2, it's going to be composite. So if you know your facts for that one, you got to know it's D. All right, man. So quiz tomorrow on Fan5. I'm hoping I get a boatload of emails from people who watched the video. Fingers crossed. If not, is what it is. But I'm telling you, you're going to have a pretty sick advantage if you do that for me. All right, guys. I'll see you on the Zoom.